Accelerated Radio presents Accelerated TV. Watch now on all platforms like Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or log on to acceleratedradio.net/TV. Welcome to Accelerated TV. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and test this thing out to see if it's working, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be launching Accelerated TV possibly in the next, what's today's date, the 12th? So maybe the next 20 days or so. Fresh, brand new studio to do everything that we want to do live. I want to welcome YouTube. I want to welcome my Periscope and Twitter viewers. Instagram coming shortly, and we should be connecting to Facebook in about the next 7 minutes or so. We'll go live. All right. Y'all know this music, right? This is my go sit your behind down somewhere music. You hear that music? Go sit down. Go sit down. Like my dad would say, he wouldn't say go sit down. He would say go sat down. S-A-T. Sat down. All right. I'll take some phone calls too if y'all up. I know it's late. 310-910-9676. 310-910-9676. Extension 1 or extension 2. Extension 1 or extension 2. All right. But I'm excited about it. Acceleratedradio.net. Acceleratedradio.net. As a matter of fact, I got to get the webmaster to put the YouTube channel on the website, so you guys can go to the website, check it out. Another thing I'm so excited about is my new music that's coming out. Kevin Nash project called All of My Love. About maybe 32, 34 songs, and I'm gonna compile maybe 12 or 13 of those, put it together, some videos and all that good stuff. I might play a snippet of one for you guys later on. Yeah. I might. I know it's late. It's raining here, it's storming here in LA, you know, lightning and thundering, but of course it's nothing compared to what we experience down south. That's real lightning, that's real thunder down south. So a shout going out to all of my family members and friends in Louisiana and parts of Texas. Yeah. So I'm just waiting to see how this thing is going to kick in on Facebook. It says we have about 6 minutes. That's a long time. Crap. That's a long time. 6 minutes is going to kick in to Facebook. So sit back, relax, enjoy some cool jazz vibes. All right. baby. I'm just sitting back thinking about you and me. Hey, so if you guys are not familiar with my music, here's one of my songs from this album I put out back in 2005. This is, wow, 13 years ago. 13 years ago. This one is called You and Me. The name of the album is called Love Beyond Space and Time. So you can get that, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, all of that.
You and me, eternally. You and I, tomorrow even, after 3, and next week, 2 moons from now, next life destiny. It's you and me. It's just you and me. It's you and me, babe. It's you and me. Yeah, yeah. At the park, on a swing. It's you and me, doing some way out things. You and I, with our love. Hold me tight, 'cause I can't get enough. Oh, you and me. Ooh, it's just you and me, baby. It's you and me, baby. Baby girl, it's you and me. Baby. Me for you, you for me. Raising our little family. Making plans to buy a home. We'll never pay wrong for wrong, no, no. Staying out late just to talk. Friday night's romantic walk. Always on each other's minds. You and me spending time. So it's just you and me.
Hello? Kelly?
Hello?
Son, can I do for you? Calling? Kelly.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes,
What's your
sir.
last name?
Yes, sir.
What's happening, my brother?
Hey, what's going on with you, sir?
What you watching on? Is it YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook?
Actually, I had seen your Facebook Live notification and had decided to, call in and everything, after the rest of your message.
Oh, cool,
And,
cool.
just wanted to, kind of stand on my trash can and wave my hand at you.
Hey, man, I so appreciate that, man. Sure appreciate that. How's it
Yeah.
going?
Oh man, just pushing and pressing, man. Pushing and pressing. Those are my two favorite P words, you know what I'm saying? I tell everybody.
I'm about to steal them from you. Push it and press.
Hey, you're pushing and pressing, or sometimes you gotta press to push,
You sound like you're from the South.
Well, my roots be in Mississippi, sir.
Mississippi, yeah. Pushing and pressing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my cricket-letter, I. Cricket-letter, I.
You taking me back, brother. You taking me way back.
Yeah, sometimes you need to go back to the grassroots and don't forget where you come from. Don't forget what the stick you came from,
Very true. Very, very true, man. What you doing up so late, man?
Oh, man, I just came in from work and everything, man, and just stretching out and everything, man, just contemplating my next move, because I gotta put my best foot forward,
Yeah, that's what a man's supposed to do, man. You're doing the right thing, man.
Recalibrate and re-strategize.
But when God, I get this from pastors and preachers alike. I hear them say when God placed a curse on man, God never cursed us. He never cursed the man. He cursed the ground. And he told the ground, that's why we have to work the ground, man. It's going to be hard for us to get what we want from the ground. We got to work overtime, triple time in order to get the ground to produce something for us. And you got to figure out that next move every time.
Yeah, because sometimes, we find ourselves in ditches and we're trying to figure out how we ended up there. It was a choice we made.
Right.
Because God gives mankind free will.
You think so?
He doesn't. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
See, one thing about God is that He operates outside of what we would term in the Greek as chronos.
Mm-hmm.
And what chronos is, it is the Greek word which we would govern our days, our weeks, our months, and years by.
Gotcha.
And so when I say that God works out of time, He works out of time to set things in order, to order our steps, so that even when we do stray, He has a set strategy to put us back in line.
Oh, that doesn't sound like free will.
So basically, when He does it, He's doing it again.
Yeah, but if you
listen
to what you're saying, Mr. Kelly, listen to what you're saying closely. I know that's the religious thing to believe, is that man has free will, but I'm one to agree with something else totally different from that. I don't believe that we do have free will for that very reason. Because he says that if you go back to the beginning, how God says that Jesus Christ was the lamb slain before the foundation of the earth, right? So before the incident took place in the garden, God had already made a way for us to return back to Himself. You get what I'm saying? For the simple fact that He says one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day to Him. He's not governed by time because He lives outside of time and space. So,
which was my first argument.
So before God created us, He created a purpose for us. He created a reason. So whatever He spoke into existence is now still manifesting itself within this time-space realm. So there's nothing outside of His will. So when you say that man has free will, that means that we're not governed by any outside forces, including God. And I'm saying that we're always governed. Our steps are governed. It's been pre-planned. It's been purposed. It's already been done. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's manifesting itself within time and space. So I don't know how we can believe that we have free will. Now, another incident that took place in the Gospels, when Peter was talking to Christ, he said, I will never forsake you. I will never deny you, God. And Jesus told him to shut his mouth. He says, before the cock crows thrice, three times, you would have denied me 3 times. He didn't even see that
right.
coming. It didn't even, I mean, not even 20, 30 minutes later, guess what happened? It panned out exactly the same way he said, because he already seen it, because it already happened outside of time and space. So with that kind of information, saying and knowing that, hey, look, this is what's going to happen, I would have tried my best not to deny him 3 times. How did he forget within 30 minutes or 1 hour after saying it? How did he forget? Because it was ordered. It was supposed to happen exactly the way it played out. And how could all things,
what was prophesied?
Yeah. So how could all things work together for our good? Because he already predestined it that way. I can't believe in free will and predestination at the same time. If we've been predestined, that's nothing according to my free will. It's been predestined.
Okay.
Makes sense? I mean, I can't believe in free will and predestination
at the same time. Yeah, it makes sense. But the perspective I was speaking on is the fact that how mankind finds themselves in trouble when they stray away from God willingly. Meaning that let's just take, Jonah. Okay. Jonah, God had told Jonah to go to Nineveh and preach. Okay.
Right.
Preach my gospel. Now, Nineveh was a place that killed believers, especially those that herald the message of God, And so, because of Jonah's disobedience, he himself had found himself in a world situation, and even then, God preserved him, because God does not create anything without purpose. Okay. And so because of Jonah's disobedience, now he has to suffer the consequences of his own actions, rather than just obeying God and avoiding that. Now, not saying that there wouldn't be any other type of trouble that he would incur, but when you do fail to listen to God, then that's when your free will runs rampant, and you decide that you're going to do what you want to do. Now, God being sovereign, loving, and compassionate towards his children, he will never ever leave us in any situation that would hurt or harm us. But here it is that he's in a well, amidst all the rows of teeth of the well that should have chewed him up and spit him out, or rather digest him. But yet he was able to escape, and guess what? The well spewed him on the land where God commissioned him to go in the first place. So even with free will...
So we're saying the same thing. It may look like disobedience from man's perspective. You get what I'm saying? But God knows everything. And how does he know everything?
Exactly.
Because he lives outside of time and space. I had this one experience. I went to the observatory to look at stars, next to Griffith Park, right? And so that night, Saturn was out. Saturn. And I was looking through the telescope, and the assistant there was like, "Hey, that's Saturn." He said, "We're looking at it in real time, but it took 47 minutes for the image of Saturn to reflect back on Earth. But I'm looking at it in my real time, right?" Now, if I would go there 1 million miles away from here, 2 million miles away, it wouldn't be in the same place. And I'm saying that to say this. If God lives outside of time and space, think about it. It may look like disobedience on our end, right? But Jonah had to experience that. It was a necessary part of his journey. A necessary part of his journey. I think this is in Romans chapter 10, where it talked about how God hardened Pharaoh's heart to do what he did, to enslave his own people, the Israelites, right?
Yeah.
That God did that. And why did he do that? He said, because I wanted to put my power on display. He wanted to create such an adversary, right? That the Israelites would know that only God could have brought them out. No one else, nothing else.
Right.
Only God
Right.
can do that. You get what I'm saying? So he had
Yes,
to
sir.
build and create an adversary for his own people to put his power on display. Because nothing is outside of his will. And it doesn't matter if we think we have free will. Free will means that we're totally disconnected. That I can use my free will to do whatever I want to do. There are no parameters. And I'm saying that's not necessarily true. God has set the parameters. We didn't set it. He set it. So ultimately, he has free will. We don't. We can't supersede God's will. We can't challenge it. Who are
Right.
we? Who are we? So all of this have been done by his design. Everything, good, bad. I was reading scripture the other day where we thought that God and Satan were enemies and they couldn't stand each other. I'm reading in the book of Job that they had a very pleasant conversation. You know,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
have you considered my servant Job? Okay. And he set the parameters. All right, do what you do. Do what I've designed you to do, but just don't take his life.
Right.
You know, and did Job know that in advance? No, it was God working
No.
behind the scene. Guess what? Orchestrating everything. Orchestrating everything behind the scenes. Just don't take his life. You could do everything else, but just don't take his life. And even Satan himself had to obey the will of God.
Wow.
He did. Had to obey the will of God.
Yeah.
That God is sovereign. That means, I'm not saying that God is sovereign on one side, but he's sovereign on both sides, good and bad. And I think the reason why God
And the ugly.
I think God had an issue with us having the knowledge of both good and evil is for one reason, because we will always question his will. Well, God, if you're so holy, why do you allow this? God, if you're so great, if you're so pure, why did you allow that? And that's just us judging from our limited perspective, from our limited view, because we live within time and space. God doesn't. He's above it. Like he says, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day to him. This is not 2018 to him, as if he didn't know Trump was going to be in office during this time. Come on.
My goodness.
He knew it. He was chosen. He was handpicked. He was created for this time. There's no battle of the gods happening. There's only one God, and he's God all by himself. They're the God of the dark side and the God of the light side. There's only one, and he controls both
Man,
sides.
it is so. Oh, I'm telling you, this. You know, not to. Yeah, to switch reels a little bit. This. I can't even dignify his name by calling him president. But 45. Oh my goodness! Like, oh Jesus! Like this is a guy who desires to be praised. You know, everything that has been done. You know, good. That is, he takes credit for it. Man, just unearthing the most vilest form of racism. I mean, this is literally history repeating itself, but just on a different level.
It's pretty
You
wild.
know,
Pretty wild.
you know, and then you have all of his goons. You know, that support his narrative, and you know, it's a real frightening time, honestly.
Yeah,
And I
well,
think that, you know, that where the church loses its relevance, you know, when it comes to combating this, is that, you know, it's okay to pray, okay? But there must be some footwork to, if you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, what can we do? What can we do?
You know, and so it's kind of like just like I was talking to my friend the other day. And we often talk about church and stuff like that, and how at one time the church was a conglomerate of resources. Whatever a person needed, um, whatever person, whatever need a person had, it was fulfilled by the church. And so we was talking about, the various pastors that commit suicide,
Mm,
and even, Laban, you know, and how it is that, they're told to pray and stuff like that. But I believe that after the prayer, there should be a card given to that person that needs psychological help. You
right.
see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because all prayer does is just it kind of toils the ground so that now new seed can be planted.
Hmm. You're
You know,
absolutely
and
right.
so when you align yourself and say, God, okay, I've come to the end of my rope. I need some help. And so when you get that card and make the appointment and keep your appointments and things of that nature, that is one's deliverance. Like you can't really pray to God and say, God, I need, this pain to leave my body and not go to the doctor.
Hmm. You're right.
You know, that's why he has certain men and women that he has gifted with knowledge of the human body.
You're right.
You know,
You're
and
100%
so
correct.
I believe that you know prayer is okay. I'm all for it, but there must be some fruit behind the root. If you follow what
You're
I'm
right.
saying.
Absolutely. Man, listen,
Because if you're not doing that, then what's the use of faith? Faith, faith wants action.
you're right. I'm going to start using this channel, man, to kind of, you know, help rebuild, if you will. I think we've
Yeah, that's
kind of gotten
that's what we need.
sidetracked with the building. There's no scriptural evidence in the Bible that told us to construct a building. Scripture tells us that God dwelleth not in temples made with hands, and we've gotten so comfortable, within the four walls that we call the church, and people think that the building is the church, but it's not.
Yeah,
You know, so now is the time we can use this technology, man, begin to, round up the troops, and go
yeah,
back and
because
remember the Great Commission in Matthew chapter 28, where it
yeah,
says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." And this is what we're here to do. This is what we're supposed to do. Be about the Great
go
Commission.
into the highways and the hedges and compel
Exactly.
men.
But it
Yeah,
hasn't. It
and
hasn't
so
been like that lately. It's all. The church is looking like the world, basically.
yeah, and how can you be a church in the community and the community don't know you?
Hey! See, there you go, man. You about to start some mess, Mr. Kelly. You gonna start some
I
mess.
mean, even with the demon that needed excuse me, I think it was in the New Testament where the Bible speaks of this demonly possessed, I think, boy,
Hmm.
and the demon just said,
He knew who he was.
Paul, I know,
Uh huh.
but who are you?
Right.
So that means then that you have to re-examine if you're really called or you just picked up the phone to play.
Well, listen, God is gonna weed through all of that, and watch how He does it. He's been doing it one by one. Check the
And you know
news.
what? I had this conversation with a friend of mine. That the same friend that the real ones that God is calling for is those that don't look church
Mm.
or those that have not been trained in church.
There you go.
And I find that the most authentic believers are the gang members.
Oh, there you go.
Why? Because they've gone through enough hell. Or matter of fact, I'm going to back the train up even further. They know God. They know God. Despite what jacket society tries to put on them, they know God. So now because they know God, now even through their rough and tough exterior, they have a heart for God. Mm-hmm. Because, to be honest with you, some of my needs when I was locked up came from them.
Yeah.
They looked out for me. They know how it feels to not have.
You're right.
Instead of, versus the believers, the ones in leadership. I'm not going to call positions because I can go all day with that. But those in leadership positions who have forgotten where they've come from. You see what I'm saying?
I feel exactly what you're saying. Listen, I'm going to come back on, and we're going to have an even deeper conversation when it comes to theology in the Bible and as it relates to this culture and 2018 heading into 2019. I'm going to come back and do that, Mr. Kelly. Hey, thank you for checking in with me tonight, my brother. And thank you for chatting with me tonight, man.
No problem at all, sir.
When you see that alert come back on, maybe sometime next week, hit me back, same number.
Well, that's a 10-4 Roger, son. That's a 10-4 Roger. I copy that track.
So appreciate it, man. I'll be back on the air Monday night, KJLH2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do this.
Okay, brother. All right, peace. As a matter of fact, this is my music in the background. This album came out. Let me change this up. Changing the song right there. Let's check this one out. Like, 2005, 13 years ago.
Really, there are no words that can explain how I feel about you. When I hear you, when I look at you, baby. When I first saw your face, when I first held your hand, our first dance, so beautiful. When you made me your man, yeah. How you look at me, yeah. I just love it. When you lotion my feet, I love the way you cook for me, yeah. Baby girl, you are VIP, yeah. That you are. Yes, everything you do, I'm like, ooh, baby. Ooh, you have a special scent, yeah. I love the way you touch me, baby. Every time you make me go, ooh, 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 yeah. Can't run out of words. Baby, I just want you to feel what I'm feeling.
So coming, I think it's November 20th. November 20th, I'm going to release the first single. November 20th. And the album will follow. It's coming, I'm shooting for December 18th. December 18th of 2018. So it's a promise I made myself to complete another project, musical project. So I'm hoping that you guys are going to be digging it. But this one came out in 2005. I love Beyond Space and Time. It's a project that I recorded for my parents. They had just passed away. Both of them passed away back to back after being married for 63 years? Yeah, 63 years. They both passed away. Back to back. So, it inspired me to record a musical project for them. As a matter of fact, there are pictures on the front cover of the album from back in the day. So for those of you who have bought it back then, thank you. But been trying to carve out some time to get back in the studio to record another one. And I've been doing it. So like my weekends are in the studio writing and preparing for it. So hope you guys support it. Support it. This is like, ooh.
Yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do, babe. Over and over again. Constantly. Ooh,
I don't know if I can sing those high notes like that anymore. All right, here's another one. Let's see.
You know, baby,
You and me.
I'm just sitting back thinking about you and me.
This is gonna be it. I gotta go home and go to sleep, everybody.
There's no other person.
This is what time is it? Almost 2 o'clock. It'll be like 19 hours I've been up. So
The place in my spirit.
just a test.
No other place in my soul. It's just you and me, baby. You and me, eternally. You and I, tomorrow evening, after 3, and next week, 2 moons from now, next life destiny. It's you and me.
Hey Reggie, I see you on Facebook, man. My brother Reggie from back in the day.
Just you and me.
Reggie used to hang out with me at KMEL 106.1 in San Francisco. Came on the show, Street Soldiers, a few times too. Reggie, man, I haven't forgotten about you, my brother. What's happening, man? Daryl Jackson, what's up, Daryl Jackson? Shout going out to Tracy Woods. She says, be safe in the ring. Thank you, Trace.
It's you and me, doing something way out there.
Hey, what's up? My man Dupriest. What's up, man? Go check him out too. Dupriest, he's an absolute phenomenal vocalist. Dupriest, he's the bomb. Y'all go check him out and support him.
You and me. Ooh, it's just you and me, baby. It's you and me, baby. Baby girl, it's you and me. You and me, baby. Me for you, you for me. Raising our little family. Making plans to buy a home. We'll never pay wrong for wrong, no, no. Staying out late just to talk. Friday night's romantic walk. Always on each other's minds. You and me spending time. It's just you
Okay, everybody, I gotta take off. So this is the project that I put out back in 2005. I need to go back and listen to it. Got some pretty cool little jams on there. It's all love songs. You can play it from beginning to end. So if you don't have a copy of that project of 2005, I'll tell you what, if you can find a copy of the first project I put out was 1992. 1992. The first person to present a picture of it in your hand next to your face, I got something very special for you. If you got a copy of that first one I put out back in 1992, take a picture of it, send it to me. And I want to see you holding it. I'm going to hook you up with something. Okay? All right, cool. This instrumental that you're listening to in the background, this is also a piece that I created. I play piano, of course, did all the music, all the production, engineered it, the whole nine. I call it Bubble Bath. Bubble Bath. Next time I come on, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring some my new stuff and let you guys sample it. I'm not going to be looking for critiques at all. There'll be demos, not completed stuff. All right, so I'll be back on Monday night. Monday night, tune in. I think it's the best station in the world, everybody. It's Radio Free 102.3 KJLH. I'll be back then. Back there Monday, 8 o'clock, so tune in, check it out. So appreciate all your love and your support you give me. Sure enough, do.
We're gonna do a little something like this, baby.
Oh, this one is called, I don't know, Woo-Wo. Woo-Wo, I think that's what it is. Okay, I gotta take off. I love y'all so much. Oh, Accelerated TV is coming. Accelerated TV is coming, so if you're looking to have your own television show, I'm not talking about, with a simple webcam. And we got webcams, even in the other studio, we got webcams all over the place, but that's generic. That's all good. But we're talking about having a professional looking show for YouTube, for your Facebook, for your Twitter, for your Instagram. I built a fabulous television production studio with everything you need. All right, so give us a phone call here at Accelerated Radio, 310-910-9676, 310-910-9676. All right, love you guys so much. I'm out.
Accelerated Radio presents Accelerated TV. Watch now on all platforms like Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or log on to acceleratedradio.net/TV. Welcome to Accelerated TV.